Hi everyone, welcome to Precious Years. This is Saida, and if you're new here, welcome. I am a homeschooling mommy of two girls, and in this channel I try my best to share our journey of homeschooling and motherhood. And today I wanted to share with you guys about our last year's math curriculum. At the time, last year she was 7. She had used Math-U-See from the beginning, so she used primer and then she worked on alpha and beta. We were interested in Waldorf inspired math because the way Waldorf teaches math is it teaches all the 4 processes: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all at once, and how they kind of correlate the number system, and we were really interested in that. However, due to lack of time, I just couldn't get a plan together for the Waldorf inspired math block. Then we've tried going back to Math-U-See. However, she was not so interested anymore in the repetition and of kind of just doing the same thing, because Math-U-See works on mastery. So the first year she worked on single digit addition, then in beta she worked on double digit, but she was really interested in multiplication, but it wasn't what they were focusing on. Now on gamma, it pretty much focuses on single and multiple digit multiplication. However, naturally she had already started figuring out how the multiplication and the division work, and she was able to do both of them. So although I wanted to do gamma, it's something that we didn't end up doing. So what I did is we started using math lessons for a living education, and this is something that my youngest had done from level 1 because she was really struggling with Math-U-See, and I have a video on that, and I'll link that above for you guys so you can see that. So because it works so well for my youngest, I decided to give this a try. This works, it's kind of Charlotte, in my opinion, it's a Charlotte Mason inspired curriculum. So there are 2 characters that you follow their journey, and every lesson starts with a story and it leads up to what the concept or what the teaching is going to be about. And it's very cost effective, and it worked really well for my youngest, and my oldest wanted to give it a try. So, and she loves to read, so we thought that it would be great for her. It also has a lot of ideas for you about manipulatives that doesn't require you to really purchase. Basically, what I like about it is it's very cost effective, and it allows you to use and gives you guidance on what you can already use that you can find in your home as manipulatives, because sometimes some of the curriculum, the math manipulatives, can get really pricey. However, I think Math for Living Education really guides you to use what you have at home, and that works just fine. At the end of the book, which we didn't really have to use much, my daughter just naturally has a really good sense of numbers, but it guides you and has a lot of the hundreds chart, being able to use counters and all of that. And because we already use math for Math-U-See, we had a lot of manipulatives laying around anyway, so we kind of mix them up. But if you don't have it, it's a really good way to, because you don't really miss anything because they guide you through all of it. So the way that it works is it reviews what you've learned in the previous year, and it also is a kind of like a cumulative, not cumulative, it's spiral. So it kind of reviews previous concepts and gives you new concepts, so that way you never miss out on any of that. And so as you see here, she it covers like time, it covers tally work, and it some of these she was able to do like in a week or so. And it reviews word problems. So one of the things that kind of lacked, in my opinion, with Math-U-See was that it didn't really teach money or time as well. And I am not one to use multiple curriculums to teach one subject. I rather have something that kind of has all of that in there. Anything else extra that I do is I add in games. And I will do a separate video on the games that we use for math and separate it out based on subjects. But here you'll see that, it teaches you addition, but it also teaches you concept about money. And so it progresses from addition, and she was like in a rush to get to multiplication, and then it gets to on lesson 12. On lesson 12, it teaches you about multiplication. It tells you a really nice story about what multiplication is, and it kind of gives you a little bit of, visual to see how it all works. And you jump right into the multiplication. Now, if you know skip counting, zeros, ones, twos, and fives are really easy, and so that's what they kind of focus on first. And as you learn multiplication, it also teaches you the division concept and also throws in some multiplication. So in here you'll see that it focuses a little bit on how the times work and how the division works. So they work together, and this allowed my daughter to really learn both of them really well. At first I was like, because I use math UC from the beginning, I was a little hesitant whether this would be confusing, but she really grasped it, and she knew it not just by, trying to count, but it really got stuck in her head. The other thing that she really liked is this mental math part, where you have to subtract something, add something, subtract something, and this part she really enjoyed because it was kind of like a little bit of puzzle type that she had to solve, and she really liked the multiple processes that they included in there. So it goes from the twos. And then it moves on to dividing by 10, and because it's working on simpler numbers to divide and multiply, it got her really comfortable that she can really do this, and it gave her the confidence. And then it moves on to rectangles and squares, and Math UC doesn't really cover geometry until it goes into their, I think, epsilon or some of the other ones. Until then it doesn't really cover geometry that much, but here it was all included. So then, as you see, by lesson 16 they're dividing by threes, and then they're always kind of focusing back on things that they've learned so they never forget it. And she really learned her multiplication facts really well. I thought I would need to, include songs and a lot of other things to get her to remember it, but just doing these simple, worksheets, she really understood it. And the other thing that she really liked is that it's not really heavy on worksheets, and it's kind of fun. It relates back to stories, and sometimes it teaches you about geography and other things. And in here you'll see like how it's teaching you about fraction. So it worked really well. And then here she's working on her measurement and days and weeks, and some of those things, sometimes if you're not always focusing on it, and especially as homeschool kids, dates are kind of sometimes irrelevant unless you're looking at the calendar, so some of those things are good to kind of review. So here she's working with money again, and you see that it kind of throws it, and she's never, maybe missed one or two, but she always remembered what she was learning, and it was really something that gave her really good confidence. And I really like this curriculum. And she's my kind of worksheet type of girl. She likes to check things off. She's more of the paper and pen and books type of a person instead of being more digital. So this worked really, she really enjoyed this. Now, one of the things a lot of people might say that it's behind a grade level. as I share with you guys about our upcoming year's plan, sometimes I think we force our kids to learn more than they're really capable of handling in their head or age appropriate. Now I'm sure there's many kids that are able to memorize the names of the presidents or all of that very early on when they're childhood, because the kids grasp in any information you give to them. However, I do feel that math is something that the numbers should be understood more than memorized, because that's how you're able to allow them to kind of break it down into little pieces and, add large numbers in your head. And for that, you really have to learn the numbers. And I think that going slowly, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, is better than allowing them to do multiple digits and all of that early on. So in my opinion, this level 3 is perfect for a third grader. That's what I think. I think they eventually catch up. And I've seen Oak Meadow, this teaching textbook, all of them kind of slow down the early years, and then they kind of ramp up in the later years, because once you understand and really understand the number system, then anything else is, other than geometry, everything else is kind of very easy to grasp. Okay, it goes into rounding, estimation, and then to just wrap it up, it goes into more measurements, and then you have equalities and these mental math. Like I said, were very, how it includes multiplication and subtraction, all of them together. It worked really well. And here's a little quote by my daughter that I just saw. She says, "Our hearts are strong, we are unique, and we are special." The things you find, right? She was doodling, I guess, and I missed that. So yeah, so you're working with large numbers, and some of these, at the end, she understood it so well that we ended up doing it on the board. But it gave her a good foundation, and we've already started on the next level for her, because she wanted to do multiple digit multiplication and division, and so that's something that I'll share. But for third grade, I think level 3 was just perfect for her, and I cannot highly recommend this book, Math Lessons for a Living Education by Master Books. It's really been really wonderful, because math and reading are the two things that I really focus on teaching my kids well, and I want to make sure they're not missing anything, because the base, the foundation of those two have to be really strong. And Master Books have nailed it with this one, and I've enjoyed it, and my daughters have enjoyed it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know in the comments below what curriculum you guys are using, and I will share with you guys about our upcoming year's plans, and we're going to change it up a little bit, and I'll share that with you guys. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.